All right, let's dive into the Sandman. We're tackling the big stuff today, humanity and the divine. Specifically, how this series makes us rethink the very idea of gods and our place in a universe shaped by, well, forces we can barely wrap our heads around.
Yeah, and the analysis we got sent is pretty interesting. It flips the script.
Flips the script how?
Well, we usually think of gods influencing humans, right? But here, it's humans influencing the gods.
It's not just a one-way street of divine intervention. I like that.
Yeah, the Sandman suggests that humanity actually shapes the divine, the endless, especially.
Okay, for anyone just joining us, remind us who the endless are.
Right, so we're talking dream, death, desire, destiny, all these embodiments of like fundamental forces. And they're not immune to us.
Humans will old us.
Exactly. Take Morpheus, or Dream, as he's known. At first, he's this cold, almost tyrannical figure. But through his encounters with mortals, like Rose Walker, he has to confront his own rigid views on humanity.
He softens up a bit.
You could say that. He starts to see mortals not just as playthings, but as beings capable of growth, resilience, defiance, even within his realm of the dreaming.
What about his relationship with Hobgadling, the guy death makes immortal?
Oh, that's such a great example. Dream visits him every century, right? Almost like he's observing an experiment, but it turns into this unexpected friendship.
And Hop's just living his life, changing with the times. That must be a lot for Dream to process.
Definitely. Hobbes' human perspective, his ability to find meaning over centuries, it forces Dream to confront the nature of existence itself.
It's mind-boggling. Imagine having dinner with the same person for centuries. What would you even talk about?
It's almost too much to think about, but it does make you think about legacy. Even in our short human lives, we can leave a mark on beings outside of time.
Like our actions have echoes beyond our lifetimes. The analysis also talked about this constant human struggle, trying to grasp the divine, forces beyond our control.
Yeah, it's like a universal need to find meaning in the face of the unknown. And we try to do that through religion, myth, stories.
But the Sandman doesn't sugarcoat things. Like, sometimes that search for understanding can backfire.
Oh, for sure. Think of Nada, the woman who falls in love with Dream.
And gets punished for it. Yeah, that story always got to me. Tragic.
It's a reminder that even seeking to understand the divine, through love even, can have consequences. The gap between human perception and a being like Dream is massive.
It's a stark reminder that some answers maybe aren't meant for us. Which brings us to another big question, free will versus destiny. Do we really have a choice if these beings exist and can see the future?
The age-old question. The Sandman tackles it head-on, especially through destiny himself. He's literally the embodiment of fate, always there looming.
So even destiny has limits, huh?
It seems that way.
Yeah.
Like even he's bound by certain rules, the very fabric of existence.
So it's not one or the other, not pure free will, not pure fate.
Right. The Sandman doesn't give easy answers. It's more about the interplay. We see this with Dream, too. He's got his role, his duty, but he still makes choices that have consequences. And those choices affect not just him, but the dreaming, the waking world.
It's like he's given a path, but he gets to decide how he walks it, which I guess is sort of like us, making choices each day that shape our journey. But where does free will end and destiny begin?
Yeah, it's a question we all wrestle with, don't we?
Yeah.
Like, do we really have the power to carve our own path? Or is it all preordained? The Sandman doesn't give a straight answer, but it makes you think about those blurry lines between those two forces.
And I think that's part of what makes it so captivating. It embraces the complexity. It doesn't try to simplify things. And it uses those grand mythic narratives to make us really think about these questions.
Speaking of those narratives, the analysis points out that it's not just retelling myths and legends, it's weaving them together with modern anxieties, you know?
Oh, yeah, totally. Like, it takes these ancient tales and makes them relevant, makes them feel, I don't know, timeless, A&D timely at the same time.
Right. We're still trying to understand life and death, fate, free will. Same stuff humans have been grappling with forever.
And the Sandman just taps right into that. Like that primal human need. We want to understand, we want to believe, we want to figure out where we fit in.
We're not just talking about escapism here.
Yes.
Right? This is about those deep-seated fears, those desires that we all share.
But here's the thing I find so fascinating. Even with all this talk of vast, cosmic forces, the endless are surprisingly relatable.
They are. I mean, they're these embodiments of huge concepts, right?
Yeah.
But they're also flawed. They make mistakes. They even have emotions we can understand.
It makes them feel, I don't know, more human. Even with all that power, all that cosmic significance.
Exactly. It reinforces that idea of The divine reflecting humanity. We see ourselves in them and their struggles, and it lets us connect on a deeper level.
And that reminds me of that point about humans influencing the divine. Like maybe the endless change and evolve because of us, because of their interactions with humans.
Ooh, now that is a compelling thought. Like, even our small actions could ripple out and affect the very fabric of existence.
Wow. Makes you think about the responsibility that comes with that, doesn't it?
For sure. Big responsibility.
Right.
And it's all tied into that idea of legacy that the analysis talks about. Not just what we accomplish in our lifetimes, but the impact we have on, well, on the eternal.
It's like our actions echo forever. Think about Hobgaddling again, just living his life, being friends with Dream. That's a human life touching something eternal.
That story is powerful, yeah. But the analysis goes even further, suggesting that it's not just Hob, it's all of humanity. Our dreams, our stories, everything weaves together into this grand narrative of the universe.
Wow. Our lives are finite, but our impact, collectively, it goes on and on.
It does. The Sandman suggests even the smallest act, the tiniest connection, could ripple outwards, more than we can imagine.
Makes you look at your own life differently, huh?
Definitely. Every interaction, every moment, like it could leave a mark on something much bigger than ourselves.
Yeah, and then there's this other concept, this idea that the divine reflects humanity. Like maybe we're not as different from the gods as we think.
It is an intriguing idea. I mean, if the endless, with all their power, experience things like desire and despair, even, a little madness, maybe there's a common thread that connects us all.
A spark of the divine in everyone. I like that.
The Sandman definitely makes you consider it. Maybe we're not just watching this grand cosmic play. Maybe we're part of it, shaping it and being shaped by it.
It all circles back to that responsibility thing, right? If we can influence the divine, then our choices have even more weight.
Exactly. The Sandman doesn't let us off the hook. It's a reminder that our actions matter. They have consequences beyond what we might realize.
So it's a call to be more aware, more intentional.
I'd say so. To really think about the choices we make, our relationships, the impact we have on everything around us.
It's a lot to take in, but in a good way. It makes you think, What kind of legacy am I creating? What's my story, my mark on the universe?
Those are good questions. And maybe, as we keep exploring the Sandman, we'll find some answers. Or at least understand the questions a little better.
We've talked about how humans can shape the divine and that struggle to understand these forces, but there's this idea that keeps coming up, free will versus destiny. How does the Sandman deal with that?
Well, it's a huge question, right?
Yeah.
One that people have been debating forever. And the Sandman, it doesn't give us a simple answer.
So it's not like one overrides the other.
Right. It's more like both are at work all the time, like a dance almost. We see that with Dream.
How so?
Well, he's bound by his role as the Dream King, right? He's got these cosmic duties, but he still gets to make choices. And those choices have consequences for him, for the dreaming, for everyone.
So it's like he's given a path, but he can choose how to walk it. And that's kind of like us, too. We make decisions every day knowing they affect us and the people around us.
Yeah, exactly. But in the Sandman, those ripples can be huge. They can go beyond just humans and affect, well, everything.
It's kind of mind-blowing when you think about it. Like, even the most powerful beings, their choices still matter.
Right. They're not above the laws of cause and effect. And our choices matter too, even if they seem small.
Makes you think about all the choices you've made in life, all the paths you could have taken. Makes you wonder, did I really choose? Or was it always meant to be this way?
It's a tough question, isn't it? But the Sandman doesn't try to give us all the answers. It just lets us sit with the mystery of it.
So even with all these forces at play, we still have a say in things.
I think so. That's what the Sandman seems to be saying. Our choices have power.
And that power, like we talked about before, it can shape things. It can touch other people's lives. It can even, echo into eternity.
That's the idea. Our actions matter, even in the face of the infinite.
It's both a little scary and a little hopeful. Like, we can mess things up, but we can also do amazing things.
That's the beauty of it. And I think that's why the Sandman resonates so much with people. It speaks to our desire to find meaning, to connect, and to find our place in a universe that can feel pretty overwhelming.
It reminds us that we're not just insignificant specks in the grand scheme of things.
Right. We matter. Our stories matter. Our choices, they matter.
Well said. And on that note, I think it's time To wrap up this incredible deep dive into The Sandman, to everyone listening, I encourage you to check it out, explore it for yourselves. You might be surprised by what you find.
You might even find a bit of yourself in there.
That's a good point. Until next time, keep dreaming, keep questioning, and keep looking for those connections that bring us all together.